Hi, my name is Theo, and I'm one of the worship leaders at Anchor Church, and this is my story. So, I grew up in a Christian home. My dad was a pastor and had his own church, and so always, put the kingdom first, and grew up always being a part of the church, helping in whichever way we can. And my dad kind of made sure that all of his kids and the whole family was a part of that. And growing up that way, never really had to, really question anything because everything was kind of provided for me when it came to the Bible and to God. And fast forward 18 years, 19 years, when my dad was diagnosed with cancer of the brain through a tumor, and that kind of started putting me on shaky ground. But again, because I grew up in a Christian home and always had faith in God, never for once questioned that God wouldn't heal my dad. And my dad got diagnosed with the brain tumor, and we had planned this big family Christmas where all of our family came over, that I traveled out and they were going to stay with us. And I think it was like 2 days before Christmas that my dad was diagnosed. And then 6 months later, my dad passed away. And I became very angry at God. And I actually said the words, "You know what, God?" I remember I ran into the back of our house when my dad passed away that night, and I said, "God, why? Why would you let this happen? Like, here's a man who trusted you, put everything that he could, the whole family. You said that you would heal, and you said that you would take care of this, and we had so much faith in it, and I couldn't understand why." And I actually said, "God, you know what? I hate you for this, and I don't want anything to do with you. Like, I don't want to be a part of it because, there's so many else." Like, I really had that mentality, like, there's good people and bad people, so why take a good one when there's so many bad people that you could take? And that led me down a very, very dark path. And so I stopped going to church, stopped serving, stopped being a part of it. I really didn't believe in church anymore. I didn't believe in God anymore. And ended up with the wrong people, with the wrong crowd that kind of influenced me in my ways. And so I ended up parting my life away and trying to escape the reality or the truth, not dealing with the fact that I had lost my dad, and try to escape that pain. And so I used alcohol, and when that became not enough, I turned to drugs, started using cocaine and crystal meth, and started to quickly find myself on a downward spiral, and ended up using drugs and cocaine and meth for 3 years. And my really, just had no purpose for life and didn't question anything, was just wanted to float by idly. And, I was happy to dwell in my self-pity. I was happy to dwell in the anger, and, just, it was happy. I used it as an excuse for many things. Even when I wanted to, even though I knew using the drugs was bad, I would use the fact, my anger and my self-pity, to justify the reasons to keep using drugs and to numb the pain and not really accept the fact that my dad is gone. And eventually I'd lost everything. My mom invested money into business for me, and I ended up stealing from that business, using the money to fund the drugs, the alcohol, the partying. And eventually, one day after a 3-day binge, kind of everyone was looking for me. But at that point, I was really starting to go, is there a purpose for my life? I can't keep on like this. Like, I really felt like, well, this is the time where I have to make a decision now, where I'm going to keep going down this way or I'm going to die in this life. And so I kind of had the conversation with God in an alleyway, high from drugs, praying. I remember praying and going, "God, if there's a purpose and a meaning for my life, I really need you to show me it. And I really need to like step into that." And, because if there's no meaning and there's no purpose, then I'm just going to die in this life. Like, I had such surety that if I continued, on this path, then it's going to be the end for me. And I really felt God speak to my heart and say, well, you need to come clean about everything and just lay it out there. And after that, I remember driving home, and the very next day, I went to rehab and spent 2 months in rehab, primary, secondary care, and really started, in rehab, going through the withdrawals. I was like, I wasn't sure if I could make it. I wasn't sure if I was too far gone, and I was just crying out to God the whole time, please see me through this, please see me through this. Like, God, see me through this. And, really, I kind of made a promise to God, like, if you just see me through this, like, I promise whatever you ask of me, I will do. And it was tough going through that, but, God did see me through on the other end. And, when I came out of that, what I prayed for was, I asked God, like, give me a new beginning, give me a new start. And when I came out of rehab and, done some of my classes and things like that, I came out on New Year's Day. And I just felt it was kind of God's funny way of going, well, you asked for a new start and you asked for a new beginning. And what a greater day to come out on New Year's Day. I really felt that was such a new beginning for me. And kind of, that's where my journey with God kind of took off again. And kind of like, okay, God, I really believe in you now. And, kind of put myself in the situation where I had to experience God for myself and not just go on my dad's word or my family's word and just doing it because you had to do it, but because I had an experience, because I have an experience. And, I experienced the truth and the true nature of God and the love that he has for me. So, came to Anchor and got involved with the team, and kind of very skeptically, found my foot in the team. And, again, never really thought that God was going to use it for anything. Just thought I'd be kind of behind the scenes doing stuff. And, but God really did, the opportunity to pursue worship and to be a worship leader purely happened because of God, and because God had placed me at Anchor and the team, and just having faith and trust in my ability and really growing me from that aspect. And, the community around me, and being a part of the team, and, Pastor Adrian and the guys really allowing me to just fulfill my calling, that they had seen that, God had placed on my life, and trusting me with that, and really allowing me to pursue that. And, coming to Anchor has really taught me about the grace of God, that God does love me unconditionally, that I don't have to carry things that I don't need to carry, that I can let them go, that, that it's all been, the price is paid for me. There's nothing more that I can do to justify my salvation. I don't need to carry baggage. I don't need to carry all that unwanted stuff. And so coming to Anchor and being a part of the team and being able to pursue my calling has allowed me to experience that love, to experience that grace of God, that, just to allow those things to let go of that weight, to let go of that baggage, and to really step into my true calling that God has for me. My name is Theo, and this is why.